The haters said the Raptors could not beat a good team. And honestly, the haters were correct. Great call from the haters.
I'm not going to do what y'all think I'm going to do and just freak out. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do, which is just flip out.
This is Basketball Island. Hein, Hambone, West, Fab. Raptors lost a tough one. Up 15 with about 54 seconds left in the third. Then Wemby came back in the game, and everything changed. Keeks had a great stat on this. Raptors' fifth blown double-digit fourth-quarter lead this season. Yeah. That is the most in the NBA.
Raptors started the fourth quarter 0 for 9 from the field. And obviously, we can talk about the lineup that Darko Rakovic employed there in the start of the fourth. No Scotty Barnes, no Brandon Ingram, although post-game he did admit that Scotty Barnes asked for him to keep riding the wave. But as soon as Castle hit that three, you probably should have just called the timeout, sent in the whole cavalry, because these losses have been super debilitating. It's kind of exacerbating the point that the Raptors just cannot compete against good teams. They're now 4-15 against the top 10 in the league. And yeah, I mean, I think Wes posed a good question off air as well. It's like, which loss was worse, the Spurs or the Thunder? And we'll get into it, but they both hurt. They both sucked. And it's just, the truth hurts sometimes.
I like what Sam says on air sometimes. Some of it crazy, sometimes crazy.
Unhinged Sam is the best.
Unhinged, but the question was asked to him, why do the Raptors struggle against the good teams? And his answer was, because the good team's good, right? Yeah, it's tough to beat the good teams in the NBA, but I think more specifically, if you drill down, one of the things that I think has jumped out all years, the Raps have been so good on the fast break because they're taking advantage of teams that are poorly coached or teams that just don't have the defensive chops where you can catch a leak out, where it's like a free 2 points. Against a team like OKC and San Antonio, you're not going to get any freebies. So all those fast break points that they accumulate, you can't do that against some of these teams that are organized. Now, there might be some good teams like Denver who are not good defensively. You might have a fighting chance getting points like that. But against these two specific teams, they're just not the two teams that you're going to be able to pull these little kind of cheap little Kyle Lowry-esque type of points out of your app. And, that's kind of how it goes.
Before we get in there, the half-court offense was actually decent in last night's game against the Spurs.
Until the fourth quarter.
Until the fourth, yes. But the half-court offense was better than the Spurs half-court offense. It's just Wembanyama, when he's on the floor, Raptors did their damage when he was off the floor, and that was very stark.
The broadcast illustrated it perfectly. The plus-minus, Sans Wemby, was massive, and that is where that changed. 54 seconds left in the third quarter. Ingram's at the line, hits both free throws to go up 15, but Wemby comes in. And to your point, the over 9, those first shots, but the offense was so stagnant.
Another fun one before Fab gets in. Raptors didn't score a single basket at the rim in the first half when Wembanyama was on the floor. They only took 4 shot attempts at the rim. It's crazy.
It's actually kind of a miracle they were in that game with the shot profile they were getting because they weren't getting anything. San Antonio shot off the water on the transition stuff. Yep. They were forcing them into a lot of tough half-court shots. So the fact that they were even in that game was impressive. And you can't be mad at their effort against the Spurs, but it's like, you're playing this great team and then you have that lead and you just can't put it away and you blow it again and it's tough. Whereas the Thunder game, they were undermanned and you just let go of the rope for 2 quarters and almost dug your way into it. But it's just the thing, can you surprise us with one of these wins? You're not mad that you lose, but by osmosis, you should beat one of these teams at some point. The Pelicans have beat the Timberwolves and the Rockets. You just can't get any of these games at all.
Yeah. It really looked like they were going to win yesterday. Yeah. And we talked about it in our group chat where I know you gave the caveat of Scotty saying that with Darko, but Darko, why aren't you calling a timeout a little quicker?
Earlier.
To start that fourth quarter. That just took forever.
Yeah, one of the other things too, the OKC game, the reason why they almost pulled that off, the Raps shot 47% from 3 against the best defense in the NBA. Those are the type of sparks every once in a while you're saying, can we just get one game every once in a while where they're able to just out of nowhere be lights out. They shot 40%. That's pretty much lights out. They still lost the game, fine. But you need that a little bit more often against these elite teams in order to steal a game or two here. The Raptors just almost never have these kind of out of nowhere shooting nights. You can't win when you're shooting 8 for 23 from 3 against a team like San Antonio.
And the shooting variance is one thing entirely. There's a lot of mental mistakes that the Raptors are making, and a lot of them are to do with the intangible stuff, which we've called out here toughness and manifests in many forms. Toughness does. One critical play in last night's game, RJ Barrett does not box out Dylan Harper on a missed free throw. And Harper's like a rookie. He was amazing last night. But like, RJ, you're crashing in there. You got to put a body on him. Like Ingram, and I believe it was Barnes or Pirtle were on Wemby. And like, you know, it's just the little things. And these things, they accumulate. Brandon Ingram was missed guys on back cuts, like 3 or 4 scenarios. One inbound pass where he just kind of tossed it in, turnover, led to a 3 that cut the lead to 10. It's just like, these things cannot happen, and too many of these things tend to occur. And against good teams, they're going to bite you in the ass. They just will.
When you're the team trying to punch above your weight, the margins are much thinner. Yep. So those mistakes, getting beat on backdoors, like losing a guy in a box out, they're going to hurt you. And in the OKC game, they went on this run where Isaiah Joe was hitting and 1 3-pointers. Like
2 of them.
They just
2 of them back to back.
They let go of the rope for an entire quarter and almost dug themselves. Even when they tied it in the 4th, OKC comes right back, just gets a layup.
Case and Wallace,
I mean,
Isaiah Joe 3.
no offense to
You're
Case
done.
and Wallace, but how is he just blowing by you for a layup? Like, I don't know. You can't put any resistance toward this guy.
And aggressiveness is good. It's good to be like, you know, you're trying to win. You're trying to make the right play. But like Scotty Barnes has had some of these turnovers. Like not all turnovers are equal.
Yeah.
A turnover that leads directly to a fast break the other way is not good. Botched fast breaks, missed layups on the other end that lead to 3-pointers the other way. Those are 5-point swings against the best teams. You will get got. And that's what happened. I actually think the loss to OKC was worse. OKC didn't have Shea, and they didn't have J-Dub. Like, you shouldn't have been down 25 in the first place. So it's like, and they let go of the rope, second, third quarter. Like, the way they jumped out at OKC with the defensive pressure, like, OKC couldn't dribble the ball. And then all of a sudden, they get punched in the mouth. And it's something that we've repeated on this pod many times. When they get punched, they cannot punch back. It gets too far down. RJ postgame, again, after OKC said, you know, at least we showed fight. We came back. Like,
that's not good enough.
Put that moral
February.
victory away, please. Like, I hate that. I hate it so much. At some point, like, those 4 wins against top 10 teams, 3 against the Cavaliers, who were undermanned, pre-James Harden, and 1, which I thought was a good win in OKC when they had Shea.
They were undermanned, though, too.
Well, J-Dub. J-Dub was the one.
Barnes with a block on Chet, the great intangible play off the free throw where he tipped the ball out. Like, there was gumption in that performance. I thought that was like, maybe the tide is turning. Maybe they're like figuring something out. It's bad. It's bad, and it's hard not to think of this team as first-round fodder just based on their record.
So, but even looking at the odds, right now, they're plus 640 to miss playoffs. If this is a play-in team, that's a realistic possibility that we need to consider.
I'm not going to go that far, but I think a week or 2 ago we said they're probably going to hold on to top 6. I still think they will, but plus 180, I think plus 185 to be in the play-in right now on FanDuel.
That's it, exactly. Yeah.
Orlando grabbed a couple good wins on their road trip. They beat the Clippers. They beat the Lakers. They're going to be potentially a game and a half, 2 games back. Now, Philly's also in the middle. And Philly's been wildly inconsistent as well, but
they got Embiid back.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to win some tough games. You can't just keep counting on beating only the bad teams, right? Like you have to.
Well, let me give one positive then, okay?
That's nice.
Okay. Looking forward to these final 25 games. I hope to God this version of Jakob Poeltl's back.
Yeah.
Because man, oh my good, thank
excellent.
God.
Yeah.
Thank God that is back. They so desperately need this version of Poeltl. I know he's had some better scoring games this year, but I would call that his best game of the year.
He was really
Hands
good.
down.
That was to me his best game of the year. I just think you don't need him to do any scoring, actually. What he was doing on the defensive end, just being a presence, deterring, getting the odd block here. I think that was a season high in blocks.
3 blocks.
I think that's a season high. You're just happy to see that he's out there like chasing guys down and making an impact. Please be back. That's all I'm asking.
And the one
man.
block that really like personified that he might actually be back healthy again, knock on wood, was his block on De'Aaron Fox, where I think Fox thought he had a clear like shot
just
fadeaway.
got right up
just
over it.
came out of nowhere. Like that was very, very promising. Very, very promising. And what his play does too for someone like Emmanuel Quickly.
That's exactly what I was going to say. On the offensive end,
Yeah,
that was
man.
the difference.
Quickly actually had an alright game too, but
Because of the Yak is so good offensively. We never talk about his offensive game, but the DHOs and like pick and roll
Screens,
stuff.
man.
It's just a huge body. And yes, you know that. It opened up a lot for Quickly.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it what it is. We always say corner turners. That's like every 1.5 mentions per pod. Not a lot of good corner turners. Well,
Take
guess
the
what?
over, take the
You
over.
need somebody. You need somebody who can create a corner. Jakob Poeltl is very capable of getting some extra help, and that's a great resource to have on the floor when you're struggling offensively.
And the Spurs are loaded with guards. I thought Quickly got into the lane. I thought he turned the corner on a couple of those guys.
The last couple games, he's hit that floater.
And he's got a lefty floater, too. And, like, I know we harp on Quickly. We're not the biggest fans of his contract, but his skill set is incredibly important. And he's been shooting lights out from three over the last, 12 games. So that's nice to see. As the playoffs are coming, if he can give you 40% shooting from three, off the dribble, utilizing Poeltl on those screens, because Poeltl's a great outlet. His floater game is elite. That's, I think, the thing that's missing from someone like Colin Murray-Boyles' game, who had a great defensive game against Wemby. I feel bad for him. The thumb looks like it's really bothering him. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him at that end, but he can't give you the relief that Poeltl can, especially on those pick and roll sequences. It's nice to see Poeltl back. I'm going to go negative because that's kind of my role here.
Go get him. Red hat.
That's your role in life. That's just not here.
Oh, whoa. Negative or real?
Sorry. The only time you're happy is if you're playing Diablo or at a LAN party.
Ooh, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Raid of the Warlock.
That's those words. What does that
New
mean?
character. Gradey Dick. Let's talk about Gradey Dick. I mean, out of the rotation, it seals entirely. His shooting would have been really nice for this team. And it's kind of sad to see him just get completely supplanted as the Raptors are healthy. Can't say he didn't have opportunities.
Yep.
We were talking about it beforehand. But, yeah, if you're looking at the balance of this team, it sucks. But I wouldn't play him at the moment because at the end of the day, he doesn't give you anything defensively. And it sucks.
But he's also wasn't giving you anything offensively. And if I know Jameson Battle can at least hit shots, then he deserves that opportunity.
I think the reality is you expected Gradey Dick at worst to be like a Duncan Robinson. One linear role, just come off picks, hit threes, do that one thing well. It's tough. Yep. I think he's had more than enough rope. I think you either find a way to get Jacoby Walter more minutes, even Battle, as you mentioned. Otherwise, I think you got to be real because this is a playoff contention team. There's no more time for baby.
Yeah, if you're talking about a guy who's late in his third year and you still haven't really seen much of him, then you're probably trying to just convince yourself of what he could be when it's not rooted in reality. And no, with a team that's somewhat healthy now, Darko does have to think about shortening his rotation because if you are in the playoffs, I don't think you're playing 11 guys. That might whittle down to 9 or 10. And unfortunately for Gradey, he's kind of the odd man out at this point. And it makes sense. He's just not playing well enough to justify minutes over someone like Jacoby Walter at the moment.
And Walter gives you defense, and he's been
and he was
elite.
good. Yeah, he was good on that end
elite
last
from
night.
the corner, shooting threes too. You need that skill set, and he put pressure on the ball. Prefer for him not to make too many decisions on ball. I don't think he's there yet, but he definitely has utility.
Yep.
So to make the play in, as Fab said, plus 185. But here's what we got coming up. Saturday night at the Wiz.
Must win.
That is
must win.
They got smoked by the Wizards once this year.
So then you go and we're coming up live after Tuesday's game against the Knicks.
Pray for us.
Yeah, God.
I just want to see a green hat. I just want Luigi one time, please.
That's the code. He knows the code.
March 5th,
the real one.
T-Wolves. Then they are home for the Mavs, who maybe without Cooper Flag still, and then at the Rockets. So there's a real possibility that they're not coming out of this 5-game stretch with a winning record, likely. But man, if they lose to the Wiz,
I think you
beat the Mavs. You got to beat the Mavs at home.
I think Wiz and Mavs are the two you would say you have to win, and then maybe you can pull off one of the other ones, get a 3-2 record.
Rockets have been garbage lately.
They're hurt.
Listen,
they're
the
hurt.
Rockets are gettable because their offense ain't that good right now.
And they're hurt.
Ain't that good.
They're hurt.
Yeah, and what the Rockets do well is offensive rebounding. Steven Adams is out, so that's what the Raptors don't do well. It really, really comes down to Jakob Poeltl's health down the stretch here, especially if CMB's nursing his thumb. Very important.
I think they could get into a low-scoring type of game with the Rockets because the Rockets' half-court offense is not impressive at all. So,
and listen, man, Raptors defense was solid. That was a spirited effort against the Spurs, bringing that back. Hang your hat on the defense. I think Jack Armstrong has been very, very critical and on point with that over and over. That is your identity. The Raptors' identity is defense and running out in transition. Teams now are taking that away. As the game slows down, as we head towards playoffs and these games start mattering more and more, they will take that away. You cannot have those moments where you let go of the rope like they did against OKC in the second, third quarter. You need to be tough on that end of the floor. And to their credit, they have been. They showed resiliency against the Spurs. You need to get over the hump, but the defense needs to remain consistent.
One more thing to add to all that positive spin. You thought just because you mentioned Houston, I gotta bring this up. Where do you think the Raptors rank in the NBA in terms of clutch time record? Don't forget they were dead last the year before.
They showed this yesterday. I think on the road, aren't they like one of the best clutch teams in the NBA?
I mean, so overall they're 5th
Okay.
in the entire NBA. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Considering how bad they were 1 year ago to where they are now. So you mentioned Houston, that's why I brought this up. Houston has a lot of trouble in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The Raptors, I think they've shown some good effort. That fourth quarter comeback came in against OKC in the fourth quarter, and then they let go of the rope in the first end of that fourth quarter, but they fought hard to wrap that game up. So all I'm saying is the Raptors have shown that they can compete in those gritty games. These games against the crappier teams, they better take care of business early, but that game against New York, I think, is going to be the ultimate litmus test. We'll see if that can become a clutch time game, and then we'll see how they handle a guy like Jalen Brunson.
Well, surprise us.
It's funny you mentioned like with the Rockets and the Knicks. The Rockets did pull the Raptors against the Knicks and just blew an awful lead there. The Knicks weren't even looking that good.
The Rockets have some issues.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too into it, but they've blown a lot of games. They stagnate a lot offensively.
Yeah.
To go full circle to Wes's question and just why I think that Spurs loss is worse. To me, it's twofold. It's not just the blown lead. The Spurs left the door open with so many opportunities late in the fourth, and they tried to give it to you, and you couldn't take it.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the most frustrating part of that loss.
Yeah, and it came down again to mental breakdowns, the intangible plays that good teams make. And like, listen, Spurs guards were making mistakes too. Like, don't get me wrong. There was Castle, I don't even think finished that game.
No, they're playing Harper, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but Wemby makes up for that. Raptors don't have that guy who can make up for all their errors. Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, they need to be more defensively responsible. Something we've been harping on all year. You can get buckets, you can score points, that's cool. Box out, watch the backdoor cuts. It sucks, man. It really, really sucks. I would love to do these pods after a victory.
Yeah. so would everybody in the comments.
One time, man. One time.
But I think that's a perfect transition point to talk the Spurs because we got a great look at them last night against the Raptors. I'm more focused on that Pistons game and some of the defense we are seeing, especially from Stephen Castle, where you see the numbers of what he's doing going up against elite players. I think they are a title team because especially you saw in moments yesterday when they're defending at their peak. Could you imagine going against that for 7 games? Yeah. How are you going to survive that? As long as Wemby's healthy, I think the Spurs can win the title.
Yeah, I don't want to undersell Castle. I think Castle's an excellent defender, but that's the luxury you get to have when you have somebody hanging out in the paint like Victor Wembanyama. So that's what that does.
You guys did a great job on the broadcast last night. I think it was on an RJ3 where he was basically had a foot on the free throw line, but is taking away the drive, but then somehow still contested a 3. And that's it. When you have that behind you, you can take chances and you can play that great.
Like that's the stat we gave going into yesterday. The Spurs hold opponents to the lowest 2-point percentage in the entire league. That's Wemby. That's as simple as you can describe it. That's Wemby.
I do believe the Spurs are contenders because of Wembanyama. I worry about their ability to guard creative forwards because the only solution to that is to put Wembanyama on him. Like, so yesterday, Barnes, I think, was 5 for 5 from the mid-range in the first half. They put Wemby on him in the second half. He couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
I was yearning for Barnes to get more touches, but it's just like, I get it. Like, Wemby's out there. He kind of erases that. Spurs can't do that all the time in the playoffs. Like, Wemby, I think he's best as a roamer, as a free safety. You find a non-shooter on the other team, Wemby guards him, and he has got 1 foot in the paint. And that's how you just nullify everything at the rim. I think the Spurs are a piece away. I don't think Harrison Barnes is that dude who can guard that best teams forward. So I do think they're going to get there. I think the inexperienced stuff's like overplayed. We'll see, but it obviously rests on Wemby. When you have like an ace in the hole like Wemby, you can get away with anything. I think they're a one piece away.
So you do sort of, I'm a believer that you do need to learn to lose before you can win.
Yep.
But it's also the shape of the rest of the West. Like OKC's not really, I know they're not healthy, but like, they aren't wowing me. Denver's not wowing me. That's why I think this could be more.
Denver needs to get healthy.
Yeah.
Same with OKC.
Sure.
The other thing I was going to bring up about the experience stuff, I think in years past definitely matters more, but when you look at the teams that are true contenders in the NBA right now, the OKCs, Detroits, the San Antonios, even Denver, they're all relatively young. relatively young. They're not like the Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph age teams you're talking about that have been like seasoned and through it. So that inexperience is not as big of a gap anymore. Like you're going up against an OKC they've won it once, but they've only had one playoff run where they really got
Thunder
used.
went through some wars.
They were no, I know,
did.
but you're not comparing it against a team like the Warriors who've like been through it like 10 times.
The
full decade.
2011 Heat or something like that.
So like I'm saying, you're talking about like a 1 to 2 year gap in experience. I think that's manageable as opposed to like a team. You're like, oh man, this team's won this. They've been in it for like LeBron 10th year in a row in the final. It's not the same. So I think it's a little different now.
I for this thought exercise, I kind of went to the history books a little bit. You know,
Open
them up. So I came up with my own formula of adding up the 3 best players on each title team.
This is some Maester right here from Fab.
I love it.
And averaging out their age and see what they were at. So last year, Shea, Chet, J-Dub were 24.6
Very
average
young.
age.
Very
They
young.
won the title.
There you go.
Spurs this year, so I picked Wemby, Fox, and Castle. 23.6.
Yeah.
Now, you might say that's a year, but that year matters
young.
a
That's
lot,
young.
right?
That's very
Because
young.
OKC needed that year where they lost to the Mavericks. So looking back at title teams, the average age is usually in that like 26, 27 range. So the only all-time team that was, or not all-time team, but the Blazers in the 70s had a big
Yeah, that was the youngest ever, wasn't it?
Big 2 or 3 of an age that was 23.6. So the precedent on a team this young usually don't win it. So
But is the league, to Wes's point, though, the league feels a little different.
Hold on though. 2012 Thunder, Harden, Westbrook, Durant, they were 22.6. That's the closest
That's an aberration.
of a really young team who could win it. I think they're a year away and
They
probably
are.
a piece away.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying the teams in the West aren't that impressive, but Denver, if they get healthy, I think Minnesota's still a tough team. Like, it's just going to be hard for a team this young with this much inexperience to roll through the West. But with that said, Wembanyama, he could break the mold.
Yeah.
You never know with that guy. He could break the mold just because of how dominant he is defensively. I still think the guards have a lot to learn. Like, I just don't know if Castle and, Fox has, one playoff round under his belt. Harper's young. I just don't know if they have enough to get to a finals, based on their inexperience.
Well, let's work FanDuel into this. Plus 950.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
I like the number. The number looks good, almost 10-1.
So I'm looking at to win the West. I'm looking at these odds right now. To me, the value that screams out to me is Minnesota at plus 1900.
Yeah,
to win the West. Believe what you want about them. They've made the conference finals 2 years in a row. Pretty poor performances there, but the Rockets shouldn't be more favored than Minnesota. That's insane.
right now.
Thunder at minus 125 as of this taping. Okay, I get it. Pay them respects. I don't think there's value in that. Nuggets plus 390. In my opinion, it hinges on Aaron Gordon's health. He is that dude. He's the glue, ultimate glue.
Cam Johnson has looked garbage since he's been back, though.
Yeah,
He's
it hasn't
not
really
good.
fit. I think Zach Lowe had some nice commentary on Cam Johnson. He's okay, cool. He's supposed to do these things, but he hasn't really.
Not coming
yet.
as advertised.
Supposed to shoot, supposed to do some handball
MPJ's
handling.
been much better
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
Way better.
He had a good comment. You feel or Simmons, I think, said, you feel MPJ in games at least, where Cam Johnson just looks like a ghost out there.
Bro, we were betting MPJ rebounds in that finals run against the Heat.
Yeah,
That was good time.
Oh, it was he was racking up 10
five,
rebounds a
It was
game.
5.5 every game, or 6.5.
Easy money.
Listen, and MPJ had a bad playoffs last year, but he had one shoulder. I think it's been said, Nuggets are coming down to Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
If he's
100%.
healthy, he's a complete
100%.
difference maker in their defensive ability to exploit mismatches on the offensive end. He is their glue, and if he's not healthy, I don't know if they can do it. And he may not be healthy, realistically.
And to a lesser extent, Peyton Watson, who was coming out of his shell this year, just another dude who can defend wings. And I think that's, we talk about it a lot. Come playoff time, wing scorers, wing defenders, that's what matters most. Wemby might break the mold. Jokic is obviously that dude, but you need these tough, big, lengthy guys to hold it down defensively. It's very important.
And we saw the Raptors. I mean, Wemby, as dominant as he is defensively, he's still not physically filled out. He can be pushed around. And I think that's going to be heightened in the playoffs. So you're telling me they're going to go into a series with Denver? Are you really taking the Spurs in that series?
Tough.
Against Nikola Jokic? I don't know, man. That's a lot to ask for.
It would be amazing to watch.
With their best players who are 22 years old.
In that situation, and we've talked about this before. I think we all have Nuggets title bets, right? just to
win
kind
the
of bring it
West.
full circle, I would probably lean Denver. But if it's the Thunder, how much are we reading into all of those previous matchups where it looks like there is a bit of a matchup situation where they want to play the Thunder?
It's interesting. I mean, I would still take the Thunder, but you can't ignore how the Spurs have gotten in their heads this year. You can't ignore it.
Oh, they're 4-1 against them if you count the NBA Cup semifinal. Like, that's 4-1 against the Thunder, and they've, like, Sam Mitchell loves harping on this on the broadcast. Like, Wemby owns Chet. Yeah. Like, he owns him. I'm a Chet guy, but my goodness, that matchup does not look good for my boy.
Yeah, my main betting thought here is like, OKC entered the year plus 120 to win the West. That's not only that's down to minus 125, so it has moved. But to me, I think it's gone the wrong direction. I think from opening night versus where they are now, I think we've seen that they're more vulnerable now than what we thought October 14th. My point being is, I think the bet is field versus OKC in the West. Whereas you came into the year, you probably would have took OKC versus the field. There are ways OKC can mess this up. J-Dub, I'm not sure if this guy's going to ever get right. The problem is that hamstring is the same hamstring that he hurt the first time. So there are just holes that OKC is showing now, and then there's growth from these other teams around them. I just don't think it's as clear-cut for them as it was when they were like 24-1. I don't think that number's right. I don't think they should be minus.
So based on the way the West looks, the Thunder are likely first of all, they need to hold on to the 1 seed, which isn't a given right now. But you're going to have to play someone like Denver or Minnesota round 2. I mean, that's tough. And then you're getting someone else like the Spurs or Denver or Mini in the conference final. So was it minus 125 to win the West?
Yeah.
Come on.
No value
really?
there.
Minus money based on the West?
A lot of ways that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Spurs are plus 550.
I mean, minus money is just that's a ton of respect. I mean, they went to 7 twice last year, and they could have lost the finals. If Halliburton doesn't get hurt, they may have lost the championship.
Like I said, do you feel more confident about them now versus opening the season as champs? I think you feel less.
Yeah.
So like that number, the direction doesn't matter.
I don't agree with the number at all.
Just to add on to that too, like as you mentioned, the West is really close, and people just assume Shea's back in a few days. Reevaluated. That doesn't mean, and like the reporting on this hasn't been the most transparent. So I'm not sure we're going to see him back.
Apparently, Daniel referenced that he really wanted to play in Toronto. Obviously, home. That's the only game they play in Canada. So if he was willing to do that, I think they were being smart with him down the stretch.
They also said Sidney Crosby was going to play in the gold medal game, and now he's out for a month. So like, no, but I'm
Big
just saying, you can't trust
guy.
reporting.
What are you doing?
Transition, isn't it?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm doing a host job of
you're
making the natural transition.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. See, come on. Now,
transition.
I am just going to say this, and commenters, please tell me, I and the group, tell us we're wrong, because if/when Canada wins a gold medal in basketball in the next Summer Olympics, that is bigger than any hockey gold medal this country has ever won. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, thank you.
You're not wrong. Canada's supposed to win gold medals in hockey.
Yeah.
And they failed. All right? Y'all failed, man. Like, some of my best memories were like the golden goal when Lemieux, did that whole thing when he let the puck go through his legs in Korea. He dummied it.
Yeah, that was 2002.
Awesome. And I was an ignorant child growing up in this country.
Was that Salt Lake City? Yeah.
Yeah, Salt Lake.
Yeah, Salt Lake. Yeah, it was cool, man. Those are seminal moments, but we expected to win. Like America expects to win in basketball. It's really, really nice when Goliath goes down.
Oh, yeah.
And if Canada, like we were doing something on the broadcast, the Thunder game as well, like the depth chart is nice. It is deep. It is plentiful. You want to go through it? We can go through it.
Bring it up, Connor.
We can go through it. So what? Shea, Jamal Murray, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Shaedon Sharp, Ben Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks. Like right there, I just named you like 7, 8 legitimate players.
They lack bigs though.
That's the problem.
A lot's on Edie.
Well, dude has barely played this year.
Yeah,
I think you have to almost try and naturalize a center. No, honestly, US did it with Embiid.
Yeah.
Now let's spend 2 years. Who do we got? Do you think Scotty,
let's get Pirtle. Let's get Pirtle.
Do you think Scotty would play for Canada if US doesn't pick him? He lives
Oh,
in
they
Toronto.
should. They should.
Amazing.
His child is Canadian. Let's go.
To answer your question, would a gold medal in basketball in 2028 mean more than hockey gold medals? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We're
Of course.
on Basketball Island, baby. What are we talking about? We grew up with Canada having 2 NBA players at once, Rick Fox and Bill Wennington in the 90s. Now you have competition to make Canada. And let's be real, hockey is taken very seriously by, I don't know, 10 nations tops, if I'm being generous.
I think that's
Maybe
real
less.
generous, Yeah.
The European teams and the North American teams. Basketball is truly global. You got
Global.
North America, teams in South America, Argentina.
South Sudan almost beat the Americans in a warm-up game.
Argentina and Brazil. The European teams take it seriously. The Eastern European teams. To your point, the African teams are getting better. Asian teams.
Basketball's like the number one sport in China.
It's everywhere. So winning in basketball is truly global, whereas hockey's like, okay, you won in a pool of, I don't know, 6 or 7 teams. But I know people say, well, the U.S. always wins. And that's true. The U.S. is by far the dominant force in basketball, but there's more countries that play it and take it seriously. So, yeah, they always win, but that doesn't mean, like, there's more countries who are knocking at the door in a sport like basketball.
In this world right now, where hate is more powerful than love, how damaging would a Team Canada win over the Americans in their own sport on home soil? How much of a kick to the nads would that be if the Canadians won it in this sport of all sports?
It's going to be hard to knock off the U.S. because they're just such a pipeline of talent, but they don't have the Avengers anymore. Bron ain't going to be there.
And Durant, Curry are talking about playing.
Good,
Like, okay, go
good,
play.
Yeah, good. I hope
Play.
you play when you're 40.
You old
I'd love
farts.
it.
Play. Go play. And like hockey, I know I don't want to hurt the hockey fans in the room, but like
So
it's an elite
you didn't
sport.
look at West when you said you don't want to hurt the hockey
I'm
fans.
sorry, man.
Yeah,
It's
don't
an
talk
elite
down to me.
sport. It's country club sport. No one cares.
Sorry,
You glide on knives. Cool, man. Great.
That's it for us today. Our next show live following the Knicks game on Tuesday. So come to YouTube for the live stream and then listen after on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.